Richardson. I'm a registered acupuncturist at Innate Wellness near High Park, and it's a naturopathic clinic and multidisciplinary clinic. So there's chiropractor, massage therapist, psychotherapist, intuitive nutrition, meditation, and then I do the acupuncture. Practice encompasses acupuncture, of course, tuina, cupping, possibly some nutritional advice, pretty simple stuff like that. I don't do herbs because I leave that up to the naturopath. But some people do come in kind of their own certain supplements and herbs, so you do give your opinion based on what you know about that and what you're comfortable with. I mean, if I don't know what the heck they're talking about, I'm not going to give them any advice on taking a certain type of supplement if I don't know what it is. The biggest obstacles in practice would be right away. Again, it's just building your practice. There's a certain amount of patience you have to have, and a certain amount of financial flexibility you need. Like you just got to be prepared, to make $400, at the end of 2 weeks, when you would rather make that at the end of the day, kind of thing, right? So that's just the first, and then there's no getting around that one. Other obstacles mostly are around management, like interpersonal skills between owners of clinics. Like if you're going to work for somebody else, there's always a certain amount of give and take in those relationships and things like that. And then just difficult treatments and getting comfortable with your own style, figuring out what style you want to do, how you go ahead and treat people, and then how you solve some more difficult cases, becoming more confident. Most of it's just time, really, as far as what you do in the clinic. We'll all kind of establish what do we need to maintain my lifestyle as far as work. And I mean that's basically 3-4 patients a day, which I work on a percentage because I don't rent the rooms. I'm not interested in that as far as my family setup. I got little kids at home. I don't have to worry about paying rent. I just want to come in, do my thing, and go. I'll take 60%. That's fine. So in that scheme, I need to see 4 people a day to kind of meet my minimum requirement at the end of the month as far as bills and family needs and stuff like that. Tuesday to Saturday, so I do work on a Saturday as well, which is another thing you have to decide for yourself as far as when you start. Fair warning, if you work on a Saturday, it's really hard to give it up because Saturday is a very good day. It's you get a lot of patients, you make money on that day, and the clinic you work for will like having you on Saturday, so to get out of it takes a little bit of work too. So if you start, you gotta kind of stick with it. 3 best skills to have as a practitioner: patience with yourself and everybody else. There's just a lot of interpersonal skills required and self-management required that just takes time too. So a good business acumen definitely goes a long way. I 100% recommend taking a business course. There's lots of night courses available through Toronto University, online, whatever, but becoming business savvy is a skill. And you can be, you can have it all figured out as far as, channel theory, balance method, TCM herbs, all that stuff. But if you can't sort out your business, it's all for naught as far as using it as a career. Friends from school who are practitioners, other massage therapists. I use the clinics I work at. I get a discount. So when you do have time, it's good to just kind of go down the hall if there's a break in the schedule and get a massage, or go see the naturopath across the hall and solve whatever issues. But I definitely keep in touch with a certain amount of students from TCM that are practicing around me, and we kind of set up times to do exchanges and catch up. So. But it is definitely important to get treatment. Right? Nobody needs acupuncture like an acupuncturist.
Do you do a lot of needling on yourself?
Sometimes. I've got kids at home and family, so the worst thing ever is if you've got needles in your feet and your 4-year-old runs into the room. Oh God, don't touch me. So sometimes I do it at a break in the clinic too, but hard to be the practitioner and the patient. It's just better to go in, relax, and kind of be in that mindset and let somebody else treat you. On a daily basis, motivation, I mean, the obvious one comes from my family and got to support them, so that's easy, but this isn't like work to me, which makes me happy. I just love to do it. I'm very happy coming in and treating difficult cases, meeting new people every day, helping them, so it's the nature of, healthcare that keeps me interested, so it's easy to do. Yeah, TCM, was absolutely happy to go there. I mean, mostly it's with the people, right? Like, I enjoyed the teachers, I enjoyed, the students I was with, so the environment was fine for me to be in. I was happy to go and enjoy doing, whatever, clinics, courses, all of it was good for me. I mean, never had any complaints about TSTCM. I just went, hung out with people and studied hard and successfully passed, and that was it. And then progressed to teaching, and teaching is great. I love teaching, so it doesn't matter where I do it. I'm happy to teach. If you're struggling in your first year, I mean, one, I'd say everybody else is doing it, so just talk about it with people, because you're not alone. So if you feel like, you're the only one, you're not. If you feel like the course load is too much, it's not just too much for you, it's too much for everybody, so you're all in it together. So I mean, the best thing you've got is each other, and you might understand one aspect really well and somebody else understands a different aspect, so just put your heads together and figure it all out together. That's pretty much the best way to go, but don't quit. If you stick with it, you'll make it to the other side. For sure. It's a common thing I tell patients. If you come in with pain, I'll tell you to take an Epsom salt bath. But yeah, I mean, probably avoid dairy. It's usually dietary, has to do with stretching, or has to do with aches and pains in general. Yeah, ice. Stop putting ice on it. I mean, I've got a bendable rule around that. I mean, if ice makes it feel better, I'm kind of okay with it. Depends on where you're putting your ice. Don't put it on the back of your head. If you immediately injured yourself and it's swelling, please put ice on it, yes, but then we're going to have a discussion about what ice does and what heat does, for your physiology, and why you should be using heat once it's done swelling. And then how to use cold and hot together, things like that. So I have particular speeches around that. But as far as migraines in particular, I've had a few people come in and say that like they get the ice pack and like put it on the back of their head. And it might help in that 5 minutes, but yes, then when you tell me the next day you woke up with another crushing headache and you couldn't go to work and the lights had to be turned off and you're going to throw up, and then we have to talk about like what ice is doing for you 12 hours later.
So can you elaborate on from a TCM perspective, what is, because from a Western perspective, everyone kind of knows okay, ice is good for injuries generally, but why does TCM
perspective and the Western perspective are the same in my opinion. Right? If you put cold on it, you shut down your circulation. Right? You need more fresh blood to have happy tissue. Right? The tissues at the back of your head need to improve their function. Limiting circulation is not going to improve their function unless there's an immediate injury and there's swelling. The function of that tissue at that moment is not going to improve your situation. So yes, you need to reduce swelling and manage that. So ice is okay. Why add heat? Because we need to get more fresh blood, and we need to get the old blood out of there. We know in TCM that if old blood hangs around, it means pain. We call it stagnation, but basically it means blood is not leaving, blood is stuck. How do we move it? Heat is one way, basically, and we'll do that anyway. But until you treat a bunch of people, you're nearly not going to know what you're really interested in treating. Maybe you have an idea I'm really interested in fertility. That's my thing, and you know before, and that's good. But I mean, I didn't know I was going to be interested in treating headaches and be really good at treating headaches and get results with really difficult cases, and all the cases would be different. I didn't know all that stuff until all these different people started walking in the door with migraines, and each one was different. And why are you getting results with this person, not with that person? So, and that was interesting to me to the point where I, kind of got certain mentors, followed a lot of, did a lot of research on what particular aspects I needed to improve so that I can treat every type of headache. What's the foundation of a headache, things like that. So if you specialize, you can't advertise you specialize, but if you get an area of interest that's a specialty for you, I think that's really good. And then, becoming good in one thing can definitely lead your practice to becoming good in other things. If you kind of unlock the secrets of one type of treatment and disease, you'll probably start to see the commonalities between all diseases from that point of view and become better at everything as well. treating digestive issues, and if you had digestive issues in the past, I mean, you can relate your own personal story. Everybody's got a kind of advertising angle, you could say, as far as marketing yourself to certain individuals. But yeah, if you look at the college and what we're allowed to use in wording and advertising, those are limiting. But if you just talk about yourself and say, I'm interested in this, and I had lots of experience in the past with this, and people read that, then they'll probably come see you for that. That's fine. But I mean, we wouldn't want to limit ourselves either to one specific thing. Maybe not necessarily anyway, but it is good to say, like, I'm particularly interested in, like, these types of things. So if you have that, you should come. Extremely important to continue educating yourself. The TCM education you get, whether it's here or somewhere else, like in China, like that's a foundation, right? That's a beginning. We got to know that we'll spend the rest of our lives trying to, like, improve on what we do and how we do it. There's no end to how good or what more we can know about what we're doing. So continuing education is absolutely necessary. And I think one of the first things you'll see in, like, your first year of practice is you'll realize that, like, there's so much more to know, and that's why becoming specific about what you're interested in treating is important too, because then you'll pursue other ways to treat that. Other styles of acupuncture, other styles of herbal formulas, other styles of whatever. And there's lots of seminars out there to take too, and there's a certain number of CEUs that you need required by the college. So, you're kind of forced to continue to educate a little bit, but it's good, right? You just got to find an area of interest, and there's lots of seminars around, but you've got to keep learning. It's okay to take a little bit of a break too. I mean, if you're kind of burnt out from, like, the books and just, like, you just want to practice a bit, but you'll get to a point where you realize, like, there's a lot more to know, and you can do better with your treatment.